You are all most welcome. Okay, John, you are welcome. Department of Social Sciences, you're welcome. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this session. We thank you for gathering us together virtually. We thank you for the opportunity you've granted us. You said whether we are one or three gathered, you can listen to their prayers. We are few, but we are going to start, and we hope the other colleagues will be able to join us so that our session is fruitful and they can be able to continue serving in this great university in both teaching and research. We pray for the gadgets, we pray for the power, we pray for the internet, everything to remain stable until the end of the session. We prayed believing in your Son Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. My name is Stephanas Garinya, the University Librarian, Deje University. You are most welcome, and I'll be the facilitator for this session. When you look at the program which is on the screen, we have 3 modules. We've started a bit late, but we shall catch up with all these modules. I'll try to be precise on every module. So the first module, we are looking at access to online resources or e-resources, stroke our online library, and we have a number of databases which we are going to cover with some of them. Then in module 2, we shall look at in-text citation and referencing. And then in module 3, we shall look at plagiarism, and the university subscribed to a plagiarism checker system, which we are going also to navigate as well. So to start with the first module of the online library, we'll go straight away to the university website, and on its main menu, we have the library link, and the moment you are there, you click on e-resources. So e-resource stands for electronics. So the moment you click on e-resources, it will take you to a page of this nature, which has a number of databases. So these databases are organized not alphabetically, but we have a number of them which cut across all the disciplines. Even when you go to page 2, you find more there. So, but what we've done, we've developed what we've called a quick reference e-resource guide for each faculty. And for the Faculty of Education and Humanities, we've categorized the ebook databases and the e-journal databases. So the ones where you can be able to access the ebooks, we have like Oxford University Press, or we usually call it OUP, and then we have EBSCOhost, we have Taylor and Francis ebooks. Then the subscribed journals, we have Hinari, which is Earth Internetwork Access to Research Initiative. Now this one, we access it through UN agency, and we are able to access it. The first 3 on top, we pay for them directly. Then we have Taylor and Francis for journal articles. Then we have Edward Elgar, still for journals. However, Edward Elgar also sometimes provides us with ebooks. And then we also have Open Education Edition journals. Then we have the Grutter journal collection, and then Wiley Online Library. So those are some of the databases we've categorized for your faculty. So these ones cut across both those in social sciences and those in education disciplines. And then when you are on campus, you will go directly, as I've demonstrated in the first place, went to the university website, went to the library, and we clicked on e-resources. But there are scenarios or situations when you are going to access these resources when you are using your personal data. So when you are using your personal data, you'll be entitled to use an off-campus link, and that is MyLoft. It's a proxy which requires you to log in your staff email and your password. Now, for this, you should have the Ndeje email as a staff. For the part-timers, get in touch with the admin, Enoch, or Madam Evelyn Buete, and ensure that they make you register with our Digits Directorate, and you get an email. So you should use the email. So when you are done with that registering there, then you get in touch with us as a library to create for you a Mile of Tea account. Then the moment you go to the URL address and you just click on it and log in without us registering you, definitely you will not be granted an opportunity. Then on campus, that is the page which I've demonstrated here. So after going through that brief, now we are going to go straight to the databases. So when you go to EBSCOhost, we are going to start with the ebook databases. Jimmy and Henry, you are welcome. And also there's a person with Tekino. Please rename yourself, put your name there. So we are going to start with EBSCOhost. And then we shall look at also Sarah and Francis ebooks. And then we shall look at Oxford University Press. Then we shall sample 2 databases, and then we shall switch to another session. So when you come to EBSCOhost here, you search, put in your search. Oh, sorry. Put in your search. For example, I can pick a search from no, let me pick it here. Let me pick something here. Addiction and substance misuse. I'm going to search for addiction and substance misuse. For those who are in social sciences, this would be maybe a good example for us. So after putting in our search, you can see they are giving us 19,534 results. If it's a book, they'll indicate a book. EBSCO also has journals. So where you see peer-reviewed academic journal, those are journals, but also the books are there. So there is what we call filtering. In these icons here, you can filter by date, you can filter by source type, you can continue to filter. The moment you click on all filter, you can filter by publication, by database, by source type, by subject, the thesaurus terms or subject in general, by publication, by publisher, by company, by language, category, geography, and so on. So you can be able to filter. But now for us, since we are looking at ebooks, we shall look at the books and select the books and the ebooks. 40 plus 18, those are 58. And then we shall click apply. This way the database is giving us 49, meaning those are the ones which you can be able to access. So we shall click on access now, and it will take us to a page where the book is. And when you come here, it is still loading the cover page of the book. So this is the title of the book. You can be able to download by the 2 different, you can download by chapters. It has 2 chapters, but when you look at them, they have subsections in them. So even when you go to chapter 2, you find the same. So do you want to download a full chapter or download just a section within a book? So that one is up to you. But now, if you want to download a full book, you go in the extreme corner here, click on download, And then it will first pop you into chapters. But if you need a full book, you click on a book. And then this one is known for borrowing. You can just download a book and then it will download as a PDF. So there are some books here where if you need to download them, you'll be required to log in. So let me see whether we can get one. This one, 4.2. Okay. Now you can look at there's a difference from the other book which we looked at first and this one. This one, they are telling us, please sign in to your My EBSCO account to check availability and download a full book. So you have to sign in to some books. I'm going to demonstrate that. When you come to the page of this nature, you go to sign in with Google. So since our institutional emails are also in Google, you can use your institutional mail or your personal email to sign in for you to be granted an opportunity to download this book. So you can see the secondary browser page has opened again, but now it's granting us to borrow this book. We are usually given 84 days maximum. So when you look at this book, I can download it maybe for 30 days. Can select 30 days. However, you should have Adobe Dictate Editions, and this is a software which reads the book when it's offline. So if you don't have it, you can right and click open in a new tab and install it on your computer or laptop. For those who are using MacBooks or Apple computers, you can download the Macintosh version, and those who are using Windows, download the Windows version. However, you can also be able to download an app for those who are using Apple gadgets. Those who are using Android, you can go to your Play Store and download the ADE, the Adobe Dictate Editions, which is a book reader. So after that, after downloading it, because if you don't have it, the download button will be faint. So you click, I have it, and then you click on download. So the book will be available for 4 weeks, 1 day, and 23 hours. 23 hours and 59 minutes. Now this one doesn't matter whether there is a weekend or whether there is a public holiday. We've requested it for 30 days. Now if I go on a phone and do the same and download the same book using the same account of the email, still they'll indicate that these are the number of days and the hours I'm remaining with. If I go tomorrow, it will indicate that I have 3 weeks and 6 days, because today would have elapsed. So after downloading it, I'll double click on the download item so that I can be able to access the book. So it's now loading. Now here it depends on the strength of the bandwidth. If the internet is slow, you may not be in position to download a book and it can display an error that failure to download, but that one always comes when your bandwidth is not strong enough. So this one, the network is better, so it has not taken a lot of time. And here is the book, Addiction Recovery and the Resilience. So our book is here, and then when you go to the left-hand side of the page, you can check on the table of content. So the table of content, this book is divided into parts, and in each part you find there chapters. If I'm interested in the history of substance misuse in the US, this is what it will display. Then on the right-hand side, there's an icon of change page view. I can say actual size. The actual size is not enough. I can zoom depending on my site so that I'm able to read the words clearly. Now, if I need chapter 1, which says we who would otherwise not meet, so if I click on that, then I'll be able to find this chapter. If I need chapter 7, faith-based best practices, if that is what I'm interested in, I'll still be able to open there and then read. Now here, you'll be able to read it offline. When you go to my library, you'll find a book which we've just downloaded. It's serving, where is it? It's here, serving 29 days. And then I have books which expired, one which has 17 days, 12 days, and the rest have already expired. So this is my bookshelf under Adobe Digital Editions. And when the book expires, you have to come back to EBSCO and download the book. But if you only need a part within the book or a chapter, you can download. And for that one, it will be a PDF, which you'll be able to use throughout. It will not have any limitation, like someone who has downloaded a full book. Then, if you're interested in only one page, you can say current page. So it will download only the first page of the chapter. If you need a full chapter, you can download the full chapter. So that's how we can be able to access materials under EBSCO host. Then we can now look at, okay, before we leave, let's look at EBSCO in terms of journals, because it also has journal articles so that we don't. We can use this time around different subject, child and adolescent, social work. So if we need articles, so far they are giving us 1,655. And then when we go here to source type, you can select, because you don't want books, apply, and then you'll be able to only see a list of articles here. And then if you want to download one, for example, like this one now we don't have access to it because there's no provision of download. Usually once we have access to download, you'll see an access option. If you want to read it online, you can read it online. For the articles, you can download it. There's no any borrowing. Just download your PDF file and have it offline. So it's currently online here. So if I want to share this, I can share with my colleagues. I can put it in the drive, in my drive. I can create a link and then copy this link and share it with the students if it's an assignment and I want them to focus on that. Or I can send an email by typing an email here for someone and then just send it. So when I send it, the person will get it and then will be able to get the link and download it as well. The same applies to the books. You can still share. So if you want to share this book, because the book is heavy, for they only give you an option of creating a link, copy it, and then share it. If we open it in another tab here, that particular link for the book of addiction here, it will take us straight away. So it's connecting you to content of Ndege University under EBSCO host, and then to take us straight away back to the book. I think now you can appreciate this. So even for the article, it will be the same scenario. So for the article, you can come and download it offline. Usually they are in PDF, unless if you want to read it online, and then you download it offline. So that's how you can be able to navigate EBSCO host. So our PDF is here, and it's here, and it was published in 2025. Okay, so this is an article. So now let's look at another database. We said we are going to look at also Taylor and Francis ebooks. So this is Taylor and Francis. Before we can do a search, there's what we call browsing. You can browse the book collection, and browse the ebook series. You can browse the open access ebooks. Those are the books which we access through without any pay. And then the free access books, those are ones which were once for payment, but now they are free. But also you can browse by subject. Browsing, the list is organized alphabetically. This time around, if we are looking for education, I'll open education and take me to the books on education. You supervise students in research. If you need research methods, the books in research methods, they are there. If you need books on humanities, they are there. If you need books on social sciences, you find them there. We're just browsing through a long list. And they are telling us that the books here on education, they are 21,274 books. And the 262,112 chapters. So now these cut across. So when you come on the filtering column here on the left-hand side of the page, they've grouped education. Are you looking at adult education and lifelong? Are you looking at bilingualism? Are you looking at childhood? Are you looking at classroom practice? So those who are coming from education department, you can say, are you looking at educational psychology, educational research, higher education, history of education, inclusion and special educational needs, middle school, multicultural, and so on, open and distance education, e-learning. So you can see the number of different subjects, and they've put in brackets the number of copies available. But before you do anything here, you can first click on content I have access to, so that the database can filter and only display what we have access to. So you can appreciate that we have access to only 924 books and 4,693 chapters. These are within the books which we have access to. So still, the numbers will drop here. If I'm looking at curriculum studies, I open it in a new tab. No, I think it will not work. So I'll have to open it within. So if I'm looking at curriculum studies and just click on it, it will display the 222 books on curriculum studies only. And I have access to all these. And the latest, if I'm looking at them, you can see this is 2021, this is 2025. And then you can read the abstract. Before you download a full book, you can check the abstract. Developing an outstanding curriculum, if that is my need. I read the abstract and see whether it makes sense to me. Then I'll develop maybe a curriculum. Okay. So these are all books. And then if when you go to research methods, still to be the same, we can filter and see what we have access to. We have access to 139 books on research methods. Okay. And then if we look at social sciences, we shall still filter and remain within what we have access to. So this is what we have access to. Now that is when you browse. We've not done the searching, but you can also do the browse. Browse works very well if you know exactly what you are looking for. But if you are not so sure, you are advised to search. So, for example, if we pick a subject from here, let's look at this time around, let's use education. Oh, wanted something unique. Okay, yes. Let's look at assessment and evaluation, because this you do every semester. And I understand as we speak now, you've already started giving students courseworks. So let us search and see, put it as a search term here in Taylor and Francis, and so whether it will give us any results. And the database will not tell you that wait tomorrow. It will indicate that it has nothing. So now they are giving us 45,000 plus. We don't want to get excited. We shall first filter and look what content we have access to. We have access to 2,559 books on assessment and evaluation. Now, they are giving you subjects. Are you looking at this in what category? You can view all the subjects here. If I'm looking at it in terms of education, education has 262 books. And then when we continue filtering, you can give the range here. For example, I can assign it from 2020 to 2026. Of course, I'm just teasing the database. It will not give me 2026 unless otherwise, because books take time to be published. So then I can apply. So when I apply, okay, it has many. So, okay. Designing and implementing effective evaluation, but now I need it in education. I'll go back here to subjects because I'm in teaching and select education. So we have 224 books. When I check the abstract, and then they will show you the size of the pages of the book. This book was published on 6th December 2022. It's the first edition of its kind. And then there's one for 2023, Learner-Centered Instruction Design and Evaluation. So this is the CBC or CBE. So if you need to evaluate the students, I'll click on the book, I'll open it in another new tab since I'm still interested in looking at the rest. Okay, assessment of online learners. So you teach students online under our learning management system. You may need to find out how to do assessment on them. So now when we come here on this book of learner-centered instructional design and evaluation, we can download chapter by chapter. Now for Taylor and Francis, you'll not be in position to download a full book at once, but you can be able to share by email, share by other social media platforms, or copy a link and share it with the colleagues, or share it with your students. If you need them to read the specific chapters and share the link, then they will go and visit those specific chapters. Now, when you look at chapter 2, it says the need for change in higher education. If this is the chapter I need, I'll just click on download, and then I'll download it. It has 21 pages. So then it will load. Okay, this is the chapter now, which we want to download, and then you go to download. It's a PDF, I'll download a PDF. So my chapter is already here. Now, if I need to download a full book, it will be the same process to go back and download the full book. Then there are scenarios when I need to share. I'll be able to copy the link. The moment you click on share, you copy the link, and then you can share with the students. When you are managing your LMS topics, you can even copy this and paste it in one of the topics if you need students to read that. If it's on your personal, that is still okay. So that's how you can be able to download the chapters within Taylor and Francis. So assessment of online learners. The same here, you do the same when you need to share by email, share by Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or copy the link. And then you go on and download each chapter. But here they've helped us. Every chapter they are giving you an abstract because each chapter was written by a different person. And then this book has what we call the DOI. That is the digital object identifier. It is unique, but this is for the full book. But when you visit specific chapters, for example, if I'm interested in this chapter, you'll find that the chapter also, it has its own DOI. So the digital object identifier usually helps when it comes to access to some of these materials. So that's how you can be able to access books under Taylor and Francis. Then the third database was Oxford Scholarship Online. Still, you can use it to download materials. You can browse by subject. When you come to all subjects here, when you go under Arts and Humanities, you'll find there, okay, we don't have what we have language teaching and learning. Maybe this would help people for language and communication. So you'll be able to find materials here. But for us, the rest, when we go back to main subjects, we go to social sciences here, you'll be able to find education, which has a number of different subjects here. Adult education and continuous learning, assessment and evaluation, care and counseling students, early childhood and elementary education. I know this can help those who are teaching our students. Higher education, higher and further education, educational research methodology, so secondary education and so on. Then when we go back here, when you go to social sciences, even high school and social sciences, addiction and substance misuse, care for the elderly, child and adolescent social work, couples and family social work, direct practice and clinical social work. So you'll be able to find there a number of crime, social work, crime and justice. So when we open these, it will give you a number of books which we have here. However, as I said earlier, select full text, select content you have access to. So however much they are saying 56, we need to make sure that we can have access to the 56. And then you can also dictate the years, and then it will streamline, and then you have specific period of time. For example, I can sign it 2023, January, up to 2026. This is Feb. And then I'll update. I'll see whether the 56 still remain or I'll have a few. So you can see I have only 22 and I have access to all of these materials. Some are chapters and then some are books. So this is a book, Language and Theory of Mind, How Children Learn About the Mind Through Language. The book was published on 9th February 2026 and it was available. They are saying it's availability, but we already have access to it. You can check its abstract and find out whether it is useful. I can open it in a new tab. That is, if I'm still interested in this list, Learning Without Lessons, Pedagogy in Indigenous Communities. It was published in January 2024. If I also need this book, I'll do the same. So this one for languages, when you come here, even in OUP, you download chapter by chapter. If I need a chapter on why study language and theory of mind alone, language alone, children's mental state talk and theory of mind, caregivers, mental state talk and children's theory of mind. So if I need a chapter, I'll still open it. And then it will take me to a page where I have a PDF icon where I can be able to download a book. However, it has its own DOI. Even if the main book had a DOI, okay, here they are not shown. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, the book has its own DOI here, the general DOI, with the online international standard book number, the ISBN, and the print, meaning that it's also available in print. If you need it in print, you can purchase it. But when we go to chapters, every chapter you find it with its unique digital object identifier. So this, when you pick it and paste it in a new page, it will, let me do that. So I copy and just paste it here in the new tab. It will take me straight away to that particular chapter. So you can see. So you can be in position also to download it from this side. So when we are here, we can still share and share on X, Blisky, Facebook, LinkedIn, email. So if I say email, it will pop me another page, and then I'll be able to share. Then if I need it as a PDF, I'll just click on PDF, and then this particular chapter will be downloaded online, and then I'll be in position to download it offline, and then I can have it forever and ever. So if I need a full book still, this book of languages and theory of mind, I'll have to download chapter by chapter, and it has 80 chapters. The good thing, the book is so current, it is published this year. So only one chapter here has 51 pages. I can zoom it if I want to read it online, but if that is not the case, I'll go to download and then have it downloaded, save it on my computer where I've created a folder, or just on the desktop, and save it there. So it will be offline. So that's how you can be able to access Oxford University Press. For it, we only subscribe to ebooks. So those are the databases for the books. When we come back to our list here where we started from, and also we look at the quick reference list here, we have other databases which are for journals. We shall not repeat Taylor and Francis because it's a similar way how you can access it, the ebooks. Then we have Hinari, we have Edward Elgar, Open Education, Open Edition, the Grutas, Wiley. So when we come back here to our list of e-resources, when you go to Open Education, for example, and then let's look at Hinari is here. Then we have the Bruta, which is on the next page. Then we have Edward Elgar. Yes. Then we have Edward Elgar. This one. So when you come to education edition, when you come here, you can search, express your search here. For example, I can say education management. Oh, sorry. And then search. If it doesn't have any result, I'll switch to another database, because it's not a must that every database must have what you want. But in case you're unable to get the results, you check another database. Now this one, the materials are open. Most of them are open. That's why they call it Open Edition. So it is giving us this much, 126,874 results here. And then if you want to read more, you can read about the material. If you want to download, just click on it and you are able to download. Okay. So there is a PDF here. You click on PDF, and then you are able to download a PDF of this particular book, rather this particular article. Then when we go to Hinari, let's look for social work. Social work plus rural communities. Let's look at rural communities. We have to be specific. So we're going to find out whether now Hinari has both ebooks and journal articles. However much we've put it in journals, in the list of journals, because it has much of journals than the books, but you can find their books as well. So when you look here on the left-hand side of refine your search, we have articles, there are 71,000, we have book chapters, there are 1,100, book reviews and so on. The books are 600. So then you can also decide the publication date. if you need, basing on your search, social work and in rural communities, and you are interested only 1 year, you select 1 year, then it gives you disciplines. Are you looking at it in terms of public health, medicine, economics, social work and social welfare, education? The list is quite long, environmental science, business. So the database gives you an opportunity to expand, but also to narrow your search. So if I'm looking at it in terms of social work, social welfare and social work, it will break it down to 10,000. And then I'm looking at only maybe journal articles, and then I'll select that, and then it will give me 9,201. Still there are many. Now here for Inari, before we do any download, you can pick what we call a permanent link. Now this link, you share it with students. You can share it with the colleagues if the article is very useful, so that they can also be able to go online and download it. You can share it by email by typing there the email of the person, and then you send. So the person will also be able to access it. Then we have more actions here. These are basically for referencing. These are referencing tools. Then if I need a PDF, usually it will indicate for you PDF, and then you'll be able to download a PDF version. Then they have different citations to indicate if the article you are downloading, you want to look at other people who have written about it, who have created more articles in it, you still click on citations, and then they will show you people who have cited in that particular item. If the list is still too long, we can say we need results for only 1 year. And 1 year will mean today, 26th February, until 26th February last year. So it will give you exactly in the range of 1 year. You can also dictate, you can customize and put specific dates. You go to the pencil icon and customize. And then, so when you see here now, we have only 539 results. There are still many, but at least. So you keep on playing around, and then you drop down, narrow down your search. But you remember where we started from. We are searching for social work in rural communities. So that is Hinari. That's how it works. Then the Grutas, it's also a database. You just search for what you want. Edward Elgar, you can also search. You'll be able to get a lot of materials here. You can browse. And when you browse, this is what Edward Elgar has in alphabet. Now for it, it also has books. However much you put it in the category of articles, you can also access some books there. So they'll give you the different subjects. Education is there, social policy, sociology, and so on, geography. So if you're interested in those, if you need to access the books, you'll be able to find the books there, and so on. So then they will show you what is on open, and then also the other services which are offered. If you want to go by subject, straight away here, they will show you the subjects, and then you'll be able to access. So thank you so much. This marks the end of our first module. And if there's any question, you can ask it before we switch to another module. And we are going to have a 5 minutes break. You take a glass of water, and then we can resume. Any question? Okay, Mr.
Thank you
Baguma is
very much.
asking, do you have this with art? Art, you are, or I don't know which specific art you are talking about, but if you want us to search for art, art falls under social sciences or education. Still, you'll be able, because if I just type here art, it's going to give me huge results in millions. You see, they're giving me 3 million. So, Mr. Baguma, can you try to be specific? Which type of art are you trying to look at? Are you looking at ceramics? Are you looking at graphics? But the databases we've shared, you can be able still to access all that nature of art. But you have to be specific because you've seen, the moment I typed in art, they gave me this much. If I go back to the book database and do the same, and just type here art, you are going to appreciate that it will give you too much. So you have to be very specific. So they are giving us 21,000 plus books. And if I try to select and put to content which I have access to, they're giving me still 1,000, which is still too much. So the same will apply even if I go to Oxford, it will be the same. So I just type the word art. Art is quite broad. Okay. Okay, sculpture and graphics. Okay, now this is okay. So let me search here. You can give it a try, it's okay. Sculpture. I'm now trying it in OUP. Sculpture and graphics. Let's tease the database and so that it can give us the results. Okay. It's giving us 2,940 results. If we select on the content we have access to, the numbers remain the same. So Mr. Waguma, there you are, you can be able to access, and then you can see the first book, they're indicating 1993, it is too old, but we have a recent one of 2023, we have 2018, but you can come here and dictate the dates. I can dictate, I say 2023 January up to 26 February, and then I'll update. This is what it's going to give me. So still I'm on track, I have 772 books. So I think I've answered you using only that database, but you can do the same with others. Okay, Paul, the recordings, we are publishing them on our YouTube channel, but we can still also share the link, the recording. But usually these recording links expire in 5 days. That's why we are publishing them on our YouTube channel. I'll be sharing the channel link, but still we can share the recording. Journalism and PR, Mr. Sevutiko. Okay. Journalism and PR still falls under humanities or social sciences. We can use one of these databases here, which we've been navigating. And we can still get what we want, though, yeah, we can. Journalism and public relations. Don't type abbreviation is in the database, it will not understand you. Public relations. Now I'm using Hinari. They're giving me 8,944. If I go to the book databases, let me try to check with EBSCO here. I want to see whether it can give me what Mr. Sevutiko is looking for. I can get from EBSCO. Put the site here. So I'm getting 3,988 all sources. Then I can filter. If I need books, they have 83 books, ebooks, and then other books are 41. That makes 1,200 plus. Then I'll apply and see what I have access to. I have access to 105 books in relation to our search strategy. Now, for example, you may not find a book. Let me use Mr. Sevutiko's example. You may not find a book which is covering both journalism and public relations. Then we can search also publication is our own and see whether we have something there. Okay, so you can see when we search for only publications, they are giving us 2,445 books. Yet when we combined the two, they were giving us 105. So when we break it down, you can see gender and public relations, critical perspective on voice, image, and identity, evaluating public relations, a guide to planning, research, and ethics in public relations. If we search for journalism alone, let's see what happens. I'm playing around with EBSCO. We are looking at books. So you can see the books they are giving us. They are 4,363. So Mr. Sevutko, we were limiting ourselves when we decided to search for both, to combine the two major subjects because they are huge. So you find that the books which have both subjects, they are very few. But when you go one by one, you can be able to access many. So they are there. And then there is a tool here, the three dotted tools here. You can share. You can share by Google Drive to your students. You can create a link and share with the students and they read it. That is if for you, the lecturer, you've navigated and you have a specific chapter, or you can even give an assignment within a chapter and so on and so forth. Is there any concern? Tekino? Okay, somebody with Tekino is asking for additional help. Yes, you are free to come to my office, but also we have a team here. We have Eren and we have Sarah. They are at Kampala, but rather they are at main campus, but you can also meet Sarah. There's another Sarah at Kampala campus library. She can still assist you. In case you fail to get me, they are always on their desks in the library. You can always visit and then you can still help you. We are available. Then Mr. Matovu, yes, is concerned about the internet at the university. Mr. Matovu, the issue of internet, our digits directorate has tried to put hotspots in all areas where students meet or where they're having classes. So they shouldn't complain that they don't have access to internet. Maybe what I would say, those could be first years who have not yet registered with the digits. You can advise them to go and register with the digits, and then they can be able to access the internet of the university. But the internet, digits has tried to put it everywhere on all campus areas. And then for your other stuff, if you don't have access to it, you also need to visit digits. And then Mr. Baguma is saying, why does the lecturer expire to access the e-library yet you continuously need to research? Now, the expiry usually happens with Myloft, not when you are direct. Myloft, we are given limited accounts. And whenever the accounts are dormant and they are not actively working, the system will automatically kick you out. So if you are going to use Myloft, that is the off-campus link, it should be active at least once every week. But when you are online and you are going to use the main page, the university main page, and go to our e-resources here, there is no any expiry. The only expiry comes with Myloft because it's a proxy which we subscribe to. And whenever it looks at accounts which have spent 30 days and more not utilized, they will expire them to create more room for active accounts. That's how I can answer you with that. I think you got a challenge with Myloft and you had to be, and when your account is kicked out, we have to register you again. afresh. So that is with Myloft. Okay, Miss Annie Asimwe. Okay, thank you for justifying that you are the one using a Tekino. All right, so colleagues, we thank you for those questions. As we have a 5 minutes break before we move to the next module of referencing and citation. For those who have joined later, I'm sharing a registration form. Please click on that link and then register yourself for this session. Thank you. Let's have a 5 minutes break and then we shall return back. Okay, welcome back from the break. So we are now going to switch to referencing. In our schedule, we indicated that practical session on Mendeley or Zotero, creating in-text citation, development of bibliographical lists. So when we come here to our browser, we are going to first create an account. We are going to use Mendeley. So we shall, okay, before we do that, I need to first explain what Mendeley is. So I'll first share these slides in 5 to 10 minutes. What's Mendeley? Before we ask ourselves what's Mendeley, Mendeley is there to change the way we do our research. So Mendeley is a reference manager used to generate citations and bibliographies in Word, Microsoft Word. So it uses Microsoft Word, not any other Microsoft application. It is an academic social network that helps researchers to organize their research, share and discover papers, and collaborate with others. And Mendeley currently is used by over 6 million researchers worldwide. There are 3 main goals of Mendeley. One is organizing your references, or what we call the bibliographies, collaborating with others, and then discovering new research. It is also used for annotating your PDF files and organizing your reference library. So we shall look at the annotation and then our library, because we are going to create our personal libraries. It is a free version, so they keep on updating the version after a certain period of time. So you can be able to access it on different platforms. So you can access it on the web or access it on the desktop and other platforms. So how can we actually use Mendeley? So how the product works, what it looks like, and how you might use it. And that is what we shall look at practically. The first thing you will need to do is to create an account via the mendeley.com. So that is the page where we are going to go and create accounts. So for those who are having more than one gadget and you are attending this session on your laptop and you have a phone, you'll be able to do this on your computer. Those who are having a single gadget, don't worry, you can still create accounts after. So when we go to creation of an account, for any new person who has never used Mendeley, to pop you to fill in your first name, your last name, your email, and then your password. As I said earlier, it's completely free. There's no any fee attached. So you need an account to log into the different versions of the software. So once you've created your account, you'll be prompted to download the appropriate version of Mendeley Desktop for your current machine, because there's what we call Mendeley Desktop and then also the Mendeley Online account. So let's talk about Mendeley Desktop. It offers a complete Mendeley experience. It allows you to build, maintain, and order your personal library. This is your personal library. So it also allows you to access reading and also other writing functions within Mendeley Desktop. So the moment you open Mendeley Desktop, you need to log into your Mendeley account. So the accounts we are going to create online, the credentials we use online, those are the same credentials you need to use on Mendeley Desktop. So this is a screenshot of how the page looks like when you go to Files You can add files, you can add folders, you can watch folders, you can add entry manually. We are going to look at that practically. And then we have what we call the manual web importer. You can import your items from the databases we've been looking at. We can be able to import materials and upload them into our Mendeley account. So the web importer imports articles. Instead of downloading them offline first, you can import them directly. You can import a batch of them into your Mendeley account. So we talked about highlighting and annotating documents. This is basically with the PDFs. And then it has a rainbow of annotations. These are colored highlightings where you can be able, they are 8 in number. So you can be able to keep on changing depending on what you want to highlight. Okay. So we can also use Mendeley for citation plugin. So we are going to do a citation plugin using Microsoft Word so that we are able to use Mendeley in our Microsoft documents. In other words, you can be able to do the intake citation, you can be able to merge citations, you can be able to insert bibliographies, and you can be able to find the citation styles. Thank you. So after that brief of the slides, now let's go practical, because this session for this module it has to be practical. So when we go to our browser, as we've seen in the slides, we are going to first create accounts, and each one of us can create an account using your personal email. So this is how the page will look like, and then you click on sign in. Okay. The moment you click on sign in, for the first timers who have never used Mendeley, it will not give you an email. It will not put your email by default there. You type your email there. Then it will pop you another page to fill in your names, as I indicated in the slides, and then your password. So since I usually use this same machine, I'll just type in my password here. And then sign in. So when I sign in, this is my Mendeley account, but I'll go to my library, not my library. Okay. When you go to my library, I have a number of materials which I've uploaded there. And for your case, if you have nothing, let's create a collection here and call it Faculty of Education and Humanities. That's what I'm calling it, but you can call it any other name. And then I'll click in the tick. I've created a folder for Faculty of Education and Humanities. When you look at it, it's currently free. There's no any item because I'm responsible to generate the materials which are going to be in that library collection. So now we open another tab. Don't close the account, leave it open. Then we are going to go to our e-resources. Let me open EBSCO. Let me also open Taylor and Francis for articles. And then I'll search. No. I'll use Mr. Baguma's search term. That was the sculpture and graphics. Yes. I'm going to use this search here. Then I'll go to Mr. Sevutico, go to Taylor and Francis and search for public relations. Okay. Here, search. And then I'll select article here. I'll need articles. And then here, Taylor and Francis, what I've requested, I've gone to the article platform, not the one for ebooks, and I'll only select show content I have full access to. So the database was giving me, okay, it's giving me now 536,000 results on public relations. Maybe I can narrow it down and say public relations plus higher education. Higher education, because that was too much. Okay. And then for sculpture, 170 is okay. Okay. Then it is loading, but I'll open another new tab. And now we are going to you remember in the slides, we looked at the web importer. Where is it? It's here. Web importer. So now we are going to go and create and say Mendeley in our browser. Type in Mendeley web importer. So the moment you go there, okay, let me just leave it. Let me search like this. So then it will take you to the web importer for your browser. And then I'll open it in a new tab. If you are using my Firefox, it will be under Firefox. If you're using Microsoft Edge, it will be under Microsoft Edge. I'm using Chrome. So when I go to this page of Mendeley Web Importer, there's a button here on the right-hand side saying add to Chrome. I'm going to add it. And it will bring a secondary browser asking me to add extension. I'll add the extension. So they are telling me Mendeley Web Importer has been added to Chrome. I'll close. Then we have the extension icon in the extreme corner here where my cursor is. And the web importer, I'll pin it. Pin. And then if I don't want it, I can remove it from Chrome, or I can manage it from here under these three dots. But now that is not necessary. I've pinned it. And when you pin it, you see it here. So we are going to do the importing. We are importing from our databases here. That's why now when they sleep for a while, I'll try to refresh. Then when we go back to our account here, which we created of Faculty of Education and Humanities collection, I'll create I'll right-hand click and create new sub collections. Now I'll create one for sculpture. And graphics. Oh, no, not created it. Sculpture and graphics. Tick. And then go back to the main Faculty of Education and Humanities, create another one for public relations. Because my search are from different subjects. Okay, so I have tab collections here. I'll first click on one for public relations. Then I'll go here to my data. What has happened? Oh, it doesn't have anything on higher education. Let me remove this and search again. Leave it as public relations. You can see it's having zero results when I added higher education. Let me leave it in general as public relations. It's taking a while. Let's start with the sculpture. Okay, and then I'll go here and make sculpture active. Click on it. And then I'll go to my database here and then click on Mendeley Web Importer. The moment I click on it, it is signing into my Mendeley account. I left the account open, I've not closed it. It's picking one item. Why? No, didn't pick one item. Let me just use sculpture and see. Okay. No. Why is it picking on one item? Let me refresh my page. Oh, WebScore is failing to. These are articles. I selected articles. Yes. Has failed. It's picking on one item. Okay, this one has failed. You can use another database here. Let me use Inari. Then this one is working. Then I'll go to my library and select sculpture and graphics because that's where I want my articles to go. Okay, and then after I'll come here and select only files which are having PDFs. Why? Because I would like to read these PDFs. And then I'll add. Click on add. Remember, my page here is empty. It has started loading. You see? It's loading. Loading. Okay. And when we go here to the page where it's loading from, it's indicating that it has failed to download one of the PDFs. And when we check here on our account, still we can see one of the articles, they've not downloaded a PDF. It's continuing to download, but some fault has not yet downloaded the PDF, it has failed. Sometimes failure comes from network. Sometimes the author of the item did not allow the database to do this collaboration with the referencing tools. You have to go and download the PDF manually. So now my items are here. These are for sculpture and graphics. Now let's go to public relations. It's empty, but let's go to the database here. What has happened? Not giving the results. Okay, we are back here. And here we shall also go back to the web importer. And we have to change the location now. We are changing to public relations. And we have to untick sculpture. And then we select the PDFs. Oh, sorry. Select PDFs only. Still loading. Okay. And then we shall click on add. So far an article, it has failed to add it there. But I can check my Mendeley account and see it's adding. And those ones with PDFs, you can see clearly, and those ones without PDFs. So far there is one which has not been added with a PDF. And when we check here, it's only one. Okay. So now we have our items here. Now, when you are here, you remember I talked about annotation, highlights and annotation of documents. So when we come here, we can do the annotation for the PDFs. If I want to read this article online here, I'll double click. And then I'll be able to read my PDF from here. It's still loading. But on the right-hand side of the page, the bibliographic information of the article is there. And there is a pencil icon. You can make changes. So the author, the publication, the month and the dates are not there. The issue, the journal, the pages, the abstract. It's a full text. It's in PDF. The DOI is there. Then when I'm here, I can be able to read my article from here. By default, it comes with yellow. These are the rainbow colors I was talking about. Then I can come here to this drop down, select highlight text, and then I'll highlight. And then the next paragraph, if it's a different business, I'll select maybe blue. Okay, up here. Then if I need to use orange on another one, I'll do the same. And then I can put a note. If I need to put a note here, I can even change the colors. And then I can say this content content is useful for statement of the problem. And I'll leave that there. Then I click back here. I want to put another one to be the same. So I'll try to okay. So this is what I can do when I'm here. That is the annotation we are talking about. So you can read the full article from here in your Mendeley account. We can go back. We can go to another one and do the same. So that is the annotation I was explaining earlier. Now, after doing all this, we are going to go back to our browser, and then we are going to download Mendeley Desktop. And the current version is 1.19.4. I'll copy this and share it with you. I can have this here. So that is the link where you can be able to download Mendeley Desktop. And then for those who have not missed to create accounts, you can still use this add-on for mendeley.com to create accounts. So now, when we click on this Mendeley installer, we have Mendeley Desktop for Windows. We have desktop for Mac computers, Ubuntu 32-bit, 64-bit, Linux 32-bit, and 64-bit. So if you have a challenge with the installation, and if you are not so sure of the application used on the computer, please visit our Digits team. They will assist you either in the labs or at the office. They can help you both at main campus and even here at Kampala. To be of help, you just tell them, make sure the laptop or the desktop you are going to use, you have administrative rights to install softwares. Otherwise, you may be blocked to do the installation. So after doing the installation, then I'm going to share another page. Let me stop sharing. Okay, let's continue. So now after finishing the installation of Mendeley Desktop, this is what you'll be able to view on your page. And then the credentials you used online, those are the same credentials you need to use here without making any changes on Mendeley Desktop. And then if you are using your own office computer and use it alone or your personal laptop, then you can stay signed in and then sign in. So after that, it will bring a secondary page here for citation plugin. If you recall, we talked about plugins. You click on install now, and then citation plugin is installed. Close the page. It will indicate you another page that you can import. We've already done the importation using our different browsers. And then it tells you that the storage is both local and cloud. What we've been doing was cloud. Now we are going to go to the local where we are now. So now this is our account. And when we go, it has three panels. We have the left-hand panel here. We have the middle panel, and we have the right-hand panel. But when we look at the left-hand panel, when you look at the folders here, you can see already Faculty of Education and Humanities there. Public Relations is there. Sculpture and Graphics are there. We did them online, but they already reflected here. So when we click on Public Relations, database is still loading because it indicates for you here, these are PDFs, and it's going to display them as PDFs. Then when you go also to Sculpture, the ones which we were able to get as PDF, the indicators are there, so it's still loading. Now, when we go to Files, you can add files. For example, if I click on Add Files, it will take me to my computer. However, the current folder in the middle panel, that's where I'm going to add the downloads. So if I go to Downloads here, and then I can pick something. Let's see. It should be a PDF file. Oh. Saying recent. Okay, I should have downloads here. Let me check. Not having any article here. You can also be able to download materials from Google Scholar because Google Scholar also fetches results from some of the databases we've looked at. I'll use let me search for journalism. Journalism education search. Then I'll download some few articles here. There are many, so you can see speaking some from Taylor and Francis, which we've just looked at. So you can get materials here. These are PDFs. And download. Okay, I've been able to download some. We shall move with those few. And now if I want to add them under sculpture and graphics, it's the one which is open. I'll go here, add files. No, this time round they are for public, they are for journalism. I will not add them there. I'm going to go to my folder of Faculty of Education and Humanities and create another folder. No, close. This one close. Not responding. Trying to connect back. My media desktop is off. Okay. Okay. So we shall go to our faculty and then we shall create within the same folder of Faculty of Education and Humanities. We are going to create another new folder and call it journalism, because the materials we've downloaded are for journalism. And then we shall go to add files. We are going to upload there the PDF files we've downloaded from Google Scholar. Sorry about that delay. The computer is slowing down. Okay. Uploading the downloads is taking a while, but before we add on files, we can add entry manually. So let's start with that. So when you come to add entry manually, it has different types of items. You can add bills, you can add books, You can add book section, that's the same as book chapter, cases, computer program, conference proceedings, encyclopedias, films, generics, hearings, articles, statutes, and so on. So if it's going to be a book, you select a book and the template will be for the book. If it is a statute, for example, still the template will change. You can appreciate that the statute has a code, it has a code number, a country, a public law number, a source, a statute number. But when it's a book, you'll appreciate for it, it has city, edition, editors, publishers, and so on. So I'm holding a book here. It's entitled, and I'm going to upload it in journalism. However much it's not for journalism, it is called Accounting for Decision Making and Control. The author is Gerald L. Zimmerman. And that is the author. And then the year of publication, I'll check for the year, and we pick the copyright year, and the recent year is 2006. Every page runs from page 1 to check the book and find out the last page. Now I'm entering a physical print, maybe which I brought from the library. And then abstract tags, author keywords are not so important. City is very important, where it was published. And on the title page, they will indicate that information. This book was published in Boston. We picked the first place of publication. It is 5th edition. It has an edition. It has no editors. Publisher is McGraw Hill. It doesn't have the online URL address. DOI, it doesn't have. ISBN, it has. And I'll type the ISBN as it is here without putting in spaces. And then I'll check whether everything is okay and just save. So my book has been added here. And when I check on the last panel, they'll give me the details which I've entered. But if I want to make edits, I'll go into the right-hand panel and make the changes there. Then the files, we can add files. And I don't know why it has failed to select downloads. I don't know what has happened, but you can add them also there. Now, after that, we are going to go to the last part. We are going to look at our Microsoft Word. And we are going to do the in-text citation and referencing using a Microsoft Word document. So when you go to your Word document, here we are, we go to references. And when you go to references, that's where you are going to find the Mendeley icon. So freezing. Freezing. So the moment you click on references, it will give you the icon for Mendeley, insert citation, insert bibliography, open Mendeley. But now we have to agree on the citation style. So when we go back to our Mendeley desktop, when you go to views, you select the citation style, and we're using APA. So when we go back to our document here, we select APA, and it was asking me whether I'm signed in with Mendeley, because usually it has to connect. And then if, for example, this is an assignment, or I'm working on a paper, stop there. So I'll put the cursor where I need my citation to be, and then I'll click on Insert Citation, take me to my Mendeley. If I know the exact author, I'll type in the search box by author or by title. If I'm not so sure, I'll click on Go to Mendeley, and it will take me to my account. And I'm going to pick references from public relations because the paper I'm working on is under public relations. And I'll select maybe two of them, of the articles which I read, and click on the icon above the word cite. And it has cited those two authors. Now for the second paragraph, for example, if I know, for example, I have Shem and Zoe, so I'll go here in my document, click on Insert, and then try to type in the author. Okay. And then if there is any other author which I used, I'll do the same. Oh, and if I've used those two and I didn't use the whole article but particular pages, I'll click in Zoe and put page maybe 56 to 58. I'll go to Paul and say maybe page 2, page 9, and then I'll click OK. So you see how it will recite, including the pages. Then I can start generating my reference list or bibliographic list. References. I'll put the cursor where I need my references to be and click on Insert Bibliography. It will only generate the references of the citation I've used. When I go to another paragraph, click on Insert. This time I'm not so sure. I'll go here and select Ferguson and Leadingham. Those two. And then the moment they are cited, they will still be included here on my reference list. Then I have another one, is called Leu. And when you check in my reference list, Leu is not there, but I'm going to cite Leu. I'll go to Insert and select Leu. And then when you look at my reference list, Leu has also been updated there. So that's how Mendeley can help you to do both the in-text citation and even referencing. And we encourage you also to promote this among the students, starting from coursework immediately, so that by the time they reach the time of producing their research reports, it is very easy. So that's the end of the second module on how to use Mendeley. Now, when we go to our Mendeley desktop again, you remember we added in an item here. And if we want this item to be reflected online, there's what we call synchronized library, or you can use the icon here for sync. You click on it, and then it will synchronize with your online account. So whatever we are doing here on Mendeley desktop, and usually you synchronize when you are online. But what we've done to do the in-text citation, here, we did it when we are offline. You don't need internet. Internet on Mendeley desktop is only important when you want to synchronize with what you've uploaded here. It will synchronize the item itself, but also the new folder you've created. However, you can still delete. For example, when I go to Faculty of Law collection, I can delete this item. You click on it, right hand click on it and say remove from the folder. It will be removed. Remove from the folder and they will be removed. And then, for example, if you got all documents and delete a document in all documents, you wouldn't have deleted the folder. The folder will stay. So if you don't need a folder, it's the same way you do it. You come here to the folder, right hand click and say remove folder. And then to pop your message to ask you whether you actually want to apply this action. If you say yes, definitely the folder will be deleted. And when you delete a folder, you've not deleted files. The files will stay. So you have to go and delete each file individually, or you can select all of them, the ones you want to delete, and then you are able to delete them. So thank you so much. Let's have another commercial break of 5 minutes, and then we shall look at the last part, which will take us only 20 minutes. And we shall call this training to an end. Thank you. Morning, Claire.
Hey, Richard, can you please?
Good morning.
Good morning. You know, we are back on the bit. We're going to have a coffee train. I'm going to call that. Go again, then.
Claire.
Yes, Salah. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. I think you're going to have a cool variant.
Era nange kyembadde nange kyekinkubiza essimu ng'angamba nti bonna bali wa graduate school lwaki LPO zange tozireeta zonna.
LPO munango zikola system abaana ba bbaasi abajijjuza n'otuuka okukola nga system eri crowded kyendiko kati. Calvin bw'oba tobitwala kati bireke ebyange ngenda kufuna abintwalira.
Kale.
Bonna.
Let us resume to the last part, and we are going to type in drillbit plagiarism.com. That's the last segment we are looking at, and this is now the anti-plagiarism checker system. So the moment you go to drillbit, you click on get started. When you click on get started, you log in institutional login, not personal. I'll first log in the administrative account to show you how underutilized the system has been. So the university paid for 300 licenses for instructors, those are lecturers, and then 400 accounts for students. Now the 400 accounts, we targeted the school, the postgraduate school or the graduate school. But when you look at the statistics, these have not been utilized. For the lecturers, we paid for all the lecturers, and each lecturer would have had an account. Last year we had sessions on the same, but still the feedback was not good. So when you look at the document type, it indicates the types of materials which have been uploaded and tested. Projects, there are 42, others are 102, and the rest. When you go by department, here we don't have anyone from the Faculty of Education and Humanities, Department of Education, Department of Social Sciences, Department of Language and Communication, none. So, and our license is expiring next month. So renewal is going to be a very big challenge because the platform has not been utilized. So now let me switch to the instructor account and we do the practical so that we can appreciate how it works. So when you come here as a new instructor, you will not find classes here. And when we talk about classes, those are the courses you are teaching. When we go to the plus sign of create account in the bottom right, and we create a class. For example, if you are teaching a course unit of graphics, okay, graphic design, if that's a course unit, then maybe it's for year 2's semester 2. This semester will run until end of May, and lectures might end maybe on 30th April. Then I'll create that for that course unit. I'll create that I can, okay, you can edit. So after creating a class, the moment I click on it, you take me to another page where I can upload, create accounts for students. So for students, it's you, the lecturer, to add them. For us, at our end, we shall only add you as a lecturer, and you should have the institutional email to use this platform. So when we come here, you can add an individual student, his names or her names, the email address, the ID number. You pick it from their student ID, the department, the section, and then you add. But there are scenarios when you have so many students, you add multiple students. And for the multiple students, you can download a template. Template is in Excel, and then you'll be guided on what to feed in. Okay. And then you add in the student name, email address, student ID, department, section, phone. And then after that, you save and you go back online here, browse, and upload that folder. Okay, rather that file. That is if you are going to add multiple. Then we'll go to the assignment. Still, you go to the bottom right-hand corner, create an assignment. For example, we can see group assignment, and we want them to start checking in today, but I'm giving them a month. That means by 26th of March, everyone should have submitted his assignment. And then I can choose a file if I want to put more instructions. You can add more instructions. Then we have what we call assignment settings. You can allow assignment grading. If you want the system to grade for you, for example, if assignment is out of 40, I'll tell it to grade. If I don't want to grade, I'll still say no. Exclude references stroke bibliographies. When you say no, the report will come when it has not run through the references. I'll leave it on. Quotes, I'll leave them. Small sources, I'll leave them. Save to repository. This you have to be very careful. The moment you say yes, it will ask you where are you going to save. Global, institutional. Now, if your assignments, the questions are the same every academic year, you are going to put students into trouble, because the moment they upload and the previous group, the work was saved in the institution repository of Drillbit, it means these other ones, when they submit and they usually pick answers from the previous group, their assignments will indicate 100% plagiarized, because already the work is reflected. So you may leave it, you may use it. It depends on you as a lecturer. Allow resubmission. If you say yes, how many times do you want them to resubmit? Okay? If you say no, choice of email notification. If you want students to be notified about their submission, you can say yes. You can add questions. You may add a question if you want to add. And then exclude phrases. If students have used the phrases, if you exclude them, how sure are you that they are phrases? We say no. Okay. Then submit limit. How many times do you want them to submit within the 24 hours or per day? Maybe 3 times as they check. And whenever they resubmit, the system deletes the previous submission. So that because they can be able to know their similarity. View of similarity, percentage and report, yes. If you say no, it will be you to go into these assignments and start sharing the similarity reports. Leave the students to view the similarity. It compares against student papers globally, against the journals and publications, the ones we've looked at in the first module. Internet or web, if they copied something from the web, it will pick it. Institution repository. If you selected save repository, definitely it's going to check in our repository of Drillbit as an institution, and then it will give you the similarity. Then after making all those changes, you submit. Now, when you submit, students, when they come, what they are going to do, for them, they are able to own review here and their personal accounts, not any other account. But for you as a lecturer, you are able to view all of them. So you come here and click on assignment, and then the student will come to upload files. And that if it's not in English, you select non-English. If it's in English, you select English, and then you click on browse your file. You upload a file. You can upload a file. Then after uploading it, will ask for the names of the author. And then the type. Is it an article? Is it an ebook? Is it an assignment? So you'll pick. If it's others, you select others. If it's an assignment, you pick that. And then submit. So Drillbit is going to give us 3 reports. It's going to give us the grammar report, grammar quality, the AI score, and the similarity score. Now, when it comes to similarity score, that is the plagiarism score, which most of us were aware of. At the moment, we are coming up with a policy because we've not had a policy as an institution, the plagiarism policy. But based on international standards, usually for undergraduates, the similarity shouldn't be above 30%, masters 20%, masters and postgraduate degrees or diplomas 20%, and then PhD it is 10%. However, it shouldn't be below 6%. So then the AI, currently we don't have a policy still, but we are developing one. But at international level, there is no policy yet. Universities are coming up with guidelines. What should be the percentage AI acceptable? That one, the answer, we don't have it yet. So it lies in the hands of the supervisor or the lecturer to judge or to determine that this is too much AI, go back and improve or paraphrase. The similarity, this is too much, please go back and change or paraphrase, because the tool just helps us to know the extent of whether the student copied and pasted, or in other words, plagiarized the work, and he or she has not generated new knowledge. Remember, at university level, they are supposed to generate new knowledge. So the tool is there to guide, but you shouldn't use it as a judgment tool to tell the student that after you've got 45% similarity, I'm not marking your work. Or you can repeat the assignment afresh. You look at it critically and advise. So it's taking long, but I'm going to take you to what I already have, and we navigate. Let's see. Go to go here. Oh, this one is okay. I'll use this for demonstration purposes. I have some assignments here. So now this is how it looks like when it has finished uploading. It will give you the percentages. It will give you the AI score percentages as well, and then the grammar quality. Now, when you look at all these percentages, the AI and the plagiarism, they are fair, but you look at the grammar quality. So I wish we had someone from language and communication online to tell us what's the problem. People don't know how to write, or because English is a secondary language, that's why we're experiencing this. So you can see the percentages, they are too high, yet when you come this side, they are moderate, okay? So I will not spend a lot of time on that, but that is for food for thought. Now, if you need the simulator report, you click on it to open in a new page to download, to display the document online. So it's loading. You are looking at the simulator report. And then it has the levels. If somebody scores between 0 to 10, that is satisfactory. If somebody scores between 11 to 40, that is an upgrade. If somebody scores 41 to 60, that is poor. And the colors keep on changing, indicating so. And then unacceptable is 61 to 100. So those grades are there to guide the supervisor or the examiner or the lecturer, whatever title you can give him or her. But they are not there to judge. You are the one to determine the student to either go and make changes, or the student did nothing completely and has to go and maybe attempt another new question if it was an assignment, or to go and make changes as required. So let's just give it some few minutes as it loads the page, and we have a critical look at it. Thank you, Mr. Baguma. You've asked you for your appreciation. How best can you help in registration to these sites by tutors, especially resources which you have availed on the website? So the databases we've accessed, even your tutorial assistants can access them. And I talked about registration for off-campus, where you need to share the email address and the true names of the teaching teams you have with our library team. If you are at Kampala, you can meet Miss Sarah Nasusa in the library. If you are at main campus, you can meet Miss Helen Kagoya or Miss Sarah Nantono, and then they can register you for the off-campus. Then when it comes to drill bit, which we are accessing last, you can please get in touch with me because the admin rights were limited. Not everyone can register users there. So if you need to register with a drill bit, you can get in touch with me and then you'll be registered. I'll share my email here for those who are ready to be registered so that you can share your details. Sorry, the network has slowed down. That's why it's taking long to load that page, and yet we need to have a look at it. Let's first look at the Grammarly. This one is taking long. Look at the AI score. It's whether for it can open earlier. It's delaying us. Okay, the AI has opened. So when AI for it, what it will do the highlights, indicating the text. So when you see that, it means the student has to paraphrase or work on those paragraphs and sentences. For it, that's how it will generate it. Then the grammar, let's look at the grammar. Now, if you want to download, you can still download the AI score. You can download a PDF and have it offline. Go here and download the report. So the student will have it offline here. So this is the grammar report, rather the AI report. It indicates that 79% is text, human text, but 21% is AI text. And then when you go in the work here, keep on highlighting those areas for improvement. Then the grammar, see the grammar, then we shall look at similarity last. So this is the grammar. For it, it will go ahead to count the characters, the words, the sentences, the lines. So it indicates the whole work as 4,999 lines. And then it will show you the duplicate sentences, the duplicate substreams. So now this is to do with the grammar. And then when you go to the real text, it will categorize it by line. Then you have line 1 up to the last line. So if you need it offline, still you can download the grammar report. So the report is here still. It will show you phrases quality, non-duplicate content, indexed content, grammar info, and so on. Then let's look at the similarity. I don't know why it was taking too long. I hope it will be faster now. Since it has delayed, let me look for a file which I downloaded some time back, and we have a look at it, because it's taking too long. So, file. And this is AI. Come on. Okay. We shall look at this because it's taking long. Let's look at this. Usually when you open the file, this is what it will display. And it will give you the different percentages. So far it's indicating student paper is 0.09, internet is 2.37, and then journal publication is 6.53%, which makes it a similarity of 9. It will go ahead to show you where it's picking all this. Some are repositories, some are journals, some are web pages, and then if this was a PhD, undergraduate or master's would pass because it's a 9%, but it will give all this info. And then when you go to the real work, it will give you the percentages, it will give you the highlights here. Now, when you look at 14, where it's indicating 14, when we go here in our list here of references, shall look at number 14. So that information came from internet data, and that is www.concertianbeam.com. So when we go back here still, and we look at, for example, 139, where we have this highlighted in red, 139. So when you check here, when you go to 139, you appreciate that this information came from paramedic perception and educational needs with respect to palliative care. So this is a publication, this is an article. So that information down there came from there. So you, the lecturer, you are the one to decide whether this student needs to redo the work or needs to make the phrase, the paraphrasing. And then to give you the summary here, as I talked about it earlier, satisfactory, which is a A, upgrade, which is a B, poor, which is a C, and D, unacceptable. So when a student scores 61 to 100, that one is unacceptable. You can tell him or her even to go back and redo the work. But if or she is within here and here, the student can always go back and make their changes and then come back and check with the system and see whether the percentages can do a good job, or rather they can fit into the acceptable percentages. But D, that one is very poor. The student might be referred back to redo a new assignment or to redo that assignment. Exactly. So thank you so much for your time. I hope all of us we've registered on the registration link. And if you need recap sessions, we are always available to take you through. This session is going to be published on our YouTube channel. And our channel is, I can share it in the chat as well. So that is our channel. When you visit by afternoon, by 2 p.m., this recording will be there. And then for those who needed a link, we shall share the link with Enoch or Madame Buete, and then you'll be able to, both of them will be able to share it with you, the recording. But as I said earlier, that recording link expires within 5 days. That's why we are publishing them on the website. Thank you so much for attending, and I wish you a nice afternoon. God bless you all. Bye.